On Thursday, December 23rd, Flex Online announced the news that Kai Greene will be skipping the Flex Pro, the Australia Grand Prix, and most importantly, the Arnold Classic in 2011. I spoke with the two-time Arnold champion a few days before that announcement was made, and we discussed the agonizing decision, the reasons for it, and his plans for the near future. This is documentary filmmaker Mike Pulcinella reporting for Muscle Meds.
There's the embarrassment, there's the humiliation, there's the questions of, oh my God, what went wrong?
After the Olympia, it seemed that Kai Greene's enthusiasm for bodybuilding was at an all-time low. His second disappointment at the top contest in the sport seemed to have knocked him down so brutally that he might not recover.
There's a moment where you can step away from the philosophical stuff that we've talked about in earlier videos and just feel like, I don't want to play anymore.
A few weeks later, when asked by Gerard Dente, president of Muscle Meds, if he had made a decision about the Arnold, Kai's turmoil was easy to see.
I mean, what is your mindset? Do you feel like you're just not ready to put your mind into competing at those shows yet, or do you feel like it's, as I said to you a few weeks ago, I realized how much you put into the Olympia, what your body goes through to get there, and if you thought that your body was prepared to do the flex and then go into the Arnold, I thought it'd be a good thing. But you have to be prepared, mentally and physically to take that on.
I know the next time you get on stage, man, you need to be ready to murder something. If not, then I could bake cookies, I guess.
1 month later, Kai returns to the office a changed person. There is a spring in his step and a lightness to his demeanor. Still, it was difficult to get him to speak about his decision, and at first he deflected my inquiries with his characteristic humor.
Where are you going to be this March 5th? And what are you going to be doing?
Oh, I'm going to be at the Arnold. We're going to be at the Arnold with the Muscle Meds booth. Come and see me. Come see us. We will be at the Arnold. We will be doing some demos and stuff, I trust, and
But?
Relating with the fans and stuff. Huh?
But?
Oh yeah. Yeah. An announcement from the great and powerful Oz. Now, unfortunately, I will not be competing this year at the Arnold Classic or the Flex Show. Yeah. So now you know.
An athlete of Kai's stature doesn't come to a decision like this lightly. Kai takes his responsibilities to the promoters, his sponsors, and his fans very seriously. But there was one factor which had been creeping up upon him for some time and which could no longer be ignored. The stress of this sport on the human body is severe. Musculature, joints, ligaments, bones, and all systems are pushed to an extreme. It's part of what makes it such an exciting and yet difficult sport. But there are limitations. The athletes do what they can to protect themselves while in contest mode, but sometimes things catch up with you, and often rest is the only solution.
A lot of people don't know, but I've been competing every season since 2003. So 2003 to 2010, every season you've been competing multiple shows. So if I had any growing to do, or if there's any growing that you've been able to witness in, the idea of what is now understood to be Kai Greene, it was done while still in the trenches, still working. If you had surgery, if you had whatever, the mindset that I had in the past worked around it.
A few years ago, Kai broke his foot, and yet continued training for his shows. The issue has still not been addressed. At other times, back injuries have hampered him, and he has needed therapy, but he never stopped. I I witnessed some of this myself during the filming of both Overkill and Redemption. There were times when Kai's exhaustion would be a palpable thing in the room with us. And in this never-before-seen footage, shot a few weeks before the last Olympia, Kai was practically falling asleep between brutal sets.
Come on! Work now! Work!
In order to be successful, I learned to not run away from the work, but to run to it. And I think on one hand, I kind of went totally in the direction of just getting lost in the work to the point where at some point wasn't able to really see and appreciate the success. I just wanted to focus harder, work harder, train harder. And now the pressure and the stress behind the scenes to do that, you don't call it pressure and stress then, you just lick your lips, put your head down and keep working, and you work harder and you push your boundaries, you go even harder. Life starts to change. The response that the world seems to give you becomes different. That changes. You go from being the butt of a joke to, Mr. Greene, welcome, and you like it. In fact, you love it. It's intoxicating, and the only way to it is to not be afraid of the work. So you welcome the work, you tell the work to come on, bring it, 400 pounds, I can do it. 500 pounds, bring it on. You'll achieve more success before you know it. People are standing there and they're applauding your efforts, and it's like, wow, great, hey, come celebrate with us. And you're like, no, celebrate? I got work to do. Wow, you won your first pro show. Man, keep watching. Now I want another one and I want more. I'm just gonna work hard, and people leave the gym, you're still there. People come to the gym in the morning, you done been there already. Relationships may change or not, but you know what? As long as this thing is consistent, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work and I'm gonna keep working. And then, some things may start to break down, but you know what? You're highly adaptive, you're resilient, you'll get around it, you'll work around it, but you're gonna keep working. So with that, you're not really able to appreciate, some of the things that, the success has brought you, because you're still committed to the work and you're focused already on the next project and on the next show. What happens when, you invest everything in this event, this is your life, and then it doesn't come out the way you expected it to? You'd be ready to kill yourself. And
are you saying that's what you've done in the past?
Absolutely. But at the time, though, I believe that it was important in order to achieve the end result. With getting ready for the next show and the show after that, it's now been 4 years and you still haven't addressed some of these other issues that you said you were going to. If you do not, take the time to do that, then you might, run this engine, out. You might, create a situation where you won't be able to do this as long as you'd like to, or as long as you want to.
The 2010 Olympia has been a turning point in Kai Greene's life and career. What I sense is a completely different Kai, transformed by his ordeal. Broken down and rebuilt, the Kai that emerges next year will be different than what we have seen before. Speaking with him since this interview, he tells me that his clarity, focus, and determination is returning. Kai Greene will be back. And of course, Muscle Meds and I will be there to chronicle this ongoing story.
I really believe that you don't, really have to, know how you're going to get there, as much as you do need to know where you want to go.
In the meantime, Kai has decided to take this time to relax and have some fun. He has been called upon to produce original artwork for the Muscle Meds brand. Kai has always been something of an artist, and now he's finally getting a chance to put his skills to good use by creating a series of bold drawings to be used in future Muscle Meds promotions. Also, in the next few months, we plan to finally produce a series of Kai Greene training videos. Kai and several young bodybuilders will team up, much like we did in Redemption, to demonstrate his training techniques for various body parts. These videos will be available online exclusively at the recently redesigned MuscleMeds website and in longer form on a DVD to be released next year. Be sure to come back to the MuscleMeds video page for more Kai updates and announcements about his return to the stage. And stay tuned for a very special contest that will allow one lucky bodybuilder to train along with Kai at the Arnold Classic and become a part of bodybuilding history by appearing on Kai's next DVD. More details about that will be coming soon. To get instant updates on all my video projects, subscribe to the Gato MJP YouTube page or become a Mike Pulcinella Facebook friend.